Well, hi guys, this is Scott V. I'm doing part 2 of my Iconia world, Tekkit Classic world, and there's just so much more to cover. Really kind of fun. Sun's going down, no problem. Here was one of my just fun experiments. I just at some point got tired of so many torches everywhere, and finally made the redstone lamps and found this really cute design for street lights. It's 4 fences. Then you put a redstone torch at top. Put the lamp here and 1 piece of redstone dust, and you have street lights. I usually don't do them in blue. I usually do them in white. But really kind of spices up the town. It's fun. Now it's funny how these things expand. This was originally really a building here that was out in the middle of nowhere. Again, originally it was just a hole in the ground. That's where the hole in the ground happened to be. So that's where the building ended up. And all of this was just wild. It went way out. It used to be this was a dangerous run to get way out here to the rubber farm. And here's our rubber capital of the world, where we, just have the extractor. And I tried automating this down below, and it was a mess. But this is where we'd extract all the rubber. We had some fun going up here, jumping down onto the rubber mat. It works best if you have rubber boots. You come up here and Geronimo, doing, 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 doing. I think you get about twice the bounce if you have rubber boots. So occasionally we'd build it higher and higher and go up there and jump off like freaks, and kind of fun. I see there's been some creepers around. Floating tree particles. Now I'm going to go into my headquarters here, my new town center monstrosity here. I find, I do like having separate small buildings for separate functions. This was going to be my castle. Really went all out with this, with the Y-shaped theme throughout all the sides, and lined in nether brick, and this was an epic construction. I built separate chambers in here, the little centerpieces, the little recessed areas. Played a bit with micro blocks, but I really just don't care for them. They're kind of a pain. And so I've made 3 main work areas here. Pretty, lighting, transparent floors. Second floor is a major production here. Now, I don't know what it was I was going to produce here. I'm probably going to move my... I do have a mass fabricator somewhere, and I'm probably going to move that in here because I made space for it, and I really shouldn't have to run 400 meters or something to do mass fabricators and get my UU matter. Here's a fun thing. This is the town water supply. Again, teleport pipe. I can pump stuff into channel 107 from anywhere nearby. The trick with the teleport pipes is both ends do have to be, both of those chunks do have to be loaded. So I did have some problems where if I went too far away, particularly for oil, halfway across the desert, that the teleport pipe couldn't find my oil tank. So just keep in mind that both chunks of the teleport pipe, both ends of the teleport pipes, those chunks have to be loaded for them to work. But this is funny, as you can see, I actually got this by trying to pump out this lake here, and I made some progress, but essentially that's an infinite source of water. I'm never going to get it all. It's just ridiculous. I'm going to pave that over with, cover that up with dirt, and forget about trying to pump that out. Here is something that's just plain fun. Red Power had some really neat items here. There was always the quirk of what to do to make water cells. You need to take a water bucket plus an empty cell to make the water cells. Handy things because they get electrolyzed, they turn to hydration cells. But how do you do it? Because the bucket always gets stuck in the slot of the auto crafter. The empty bucket always gets stuck in there, and the new fill bucket can't come in. But the way that this works, let me see, I have some empty cells here. This is an advanced crafting table. So it has an inventory, here's the recipe, here's the output. The real trick are these advanced wooden pipes. What the advanced wooden pipe is, it has a filter. So this pipe will only take out filled water buckets. This pumps the empty water buckets back into the deployer, and this one here takes out only filled water cells. So these are just plain fun. This runs the deployer, so it's going to be filling buckets right now. Every click is going to fill a bucket. This runs all three of the redstone engines, so you get to see this really cute loop. The filled buckets go in, the empty buckets come out, and the filled water cells come out. And it was so much fun when I finally figured out that was possible. I think I'm 1 or 2 buckets short. The idea is to have enough buckets to fill the 9 slots in the deployer. But tell me that's not cool. Anyway, if you ever have one of these tricky things where you have an item that gets stuck in the crafting table because it doesn't get totally used up in crafting, you can use those advanced wooden pipes, if your mod pack has them, to choose exactly which items. And once again, the deployer here fills the buckets. This pulls out only filled buckets and not empty buckets. This pulls out only empty buckets and sends them back over. And over here it pulls out your final product. So it's really fun to watch. The empty bucket comes in, gets filled up, and zap, pretty much instant. So anyway, I'm going to shut this off for the moment because I'm well stocked up on those. But that's a very neat. That is how you can do a cycle to drain tanks. It will fairly quickly drain the tank and put all the liquids into the cells for you. And I have more cells than I know what to do with, like everything else. Now for symmetry, because I am a sucker for symmetry, you can guess what's on the other side. On the other side is the town oil supply. Essentially the same situation. There's a teleport pipe. Well, I went up the wrong scaffold. There's a teleport pipe. So anywhere nearby I can teleport to here. Now this is a chunk loader. So it should keep this chunk loaded so that I can send any oil anywhere to frequency 106. It's set to receive. And it should end up going through these pipes and end up in whichever tank has still got some room. The downside is I don't actually have a use for oil. I was kind of just a challenge to see how much oil I could get and set up the pumping networks and stuff. The only use for oil is really to put it in a combustion engine, and those are notorious for exploding. So yeah, I gathered it and then realized I didn't have a use for it. Oh, this redstone torch is keeping the lamp lit down below. Let's see, there's one more floor up here. Oh, I lied. There's 2 more floors. Yeah, I'm definitely going to move my mass fabricator up here. So here is the ceiling. This is just fun. It's amazing. I don't know if the creators of Minecraft, the engine, thought that people would ever do things like this with it. But that is the kind of the outskirts of town. It's gradually expanding off into the distance there. Or at least it was when we were actively playing. And here is basically the main part of my town. The oil supply, there's more water down there. Power station. That's my transit center. The Hall of Blueprints. There's our original home way off in the distance. Hey, it disappears when I look directly at it. It's funny. And yeah, it was quite the epic build. As I said, I at this point have so much of every material that I could probably go make an entire town out of just an entire building out of just iron or bronze or whatever. Let me rush out here quickly. There's my wart farm, nether wart and terra wart. I do want to run out here briefly because there's a whole nother town and something else really fun.